through it. It's
Hit
a
it,
good
hit
little
it.
dress rehearsal.
They have no idea where we are, who we are, where we're coming from, or who we are, where we're coming from, or who we are, where we're coming from, or who we are, where we're coming from.
Hey!
And this is the best of the best. Wow. That is football.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chop Shop. It is 7:19 p.m. Jeff and I just did an incredible 10-15 minutes of content, and then we realized the thing never went live. So we're back. We're back. It's good. Everyone's excited. And you know what? I'm just going to turn this music off so we can dive into things because we are officially running late.
Yeah, we got another show in 41 minutes. We got to get a move on here.
I don't know what happened there.
Oh,
all right,
man. Yeah. I'm sorry y'all missed all that.
So here, I'll give my 30-second version of what we just talked about. I want you to hit the points you hit about the website and everything that's going on again, and then we'll dive into matchups, week one, final thoughts on the offseason. But it's been a few weeks since we did the Chop Shop. We're back. There's been a little bit of an overhaul at GR in terms of just the entire ecosystem that's going on behind the scenes. Jeff has been slaving away, if you will, at redoing the website, as well as a bunch of other things that have to do with the metrics that you guys all come to GR for in the first place. I am Ronnie Evans, your host. This is Jeff DiMatte. We're on Twitter at Gridiron Rating, no S. And Jeff, why don't you tell people real quick what's going on with the site, what they're looking at, and how they can use it?
Full scale overhaul is the shortest version of what's going on. So here's the thing. Written word for fantasy football, unless you're one of the big 5 or 6 sites that are out there, it's basically dead.
Right.
You know, as a smaller site, it's oversaturated. It's really tough to get ahead. And really, how many people are sitting down and reading 1,000 words and then coming back and reading another 1,000 words?
Not me.
It's pretty infrequent, right? Especially in a TikTok world where our attention spans can only really be measured in nanoseconds. We are shifting away from the written word for all of our fantasy content and getting into infographics, charts, tables. Everything is going to be visual now. We're getting to a point where we're going to have some written stuff, but it'll be kind of the evergreen, you know, hey, Dynasty 101, IDP 101, really basic stuff. But really where we're headed now is to create an environment where you can pop onto the site, pick a category, DFS, Dynasty, redraft, rankings, IDP, whatever you want to look at, click it, and start flipping through images and just bang, 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 one after the next. And you can absorb 100,000 words worth of content. And you can do it in a few minutes, as opposed to laboring through a gazillion and one articles and, you know, starting to skim, not getting the full story. The images can be clicked, saved, downloaded to your phone or your mobile device, whatever you want. Keep it so you can look at it later and refer back to it. No big deal. It's kind of like a weird cross of fantasy football meets Tinder. Okay. You get into it and you can just bang through photos. Pop, 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 pop. Yes, no, yes,
we
no.
We need a sound effect for the website. It's like
that's what we do. we do. We definitely need that. You know, there's definitely a lot of room for growth here. Now we're going to be doing a lot of different things. We're still going to have, you know, we've got the start sit charts for every position. You know, instead of being a true start sit, it's more like a, hey, here's some guys that you can expect, you know, position, insert position here, number 1, number 2, number 3, or is he just depth? Is he, you know, a waiver player? Like, what does that look like this week? It'll help you make those decisions when you start looking at the middle bottom part of your roster and you're like, man, should I be playing this guy or that guy in my flex? Cool. Well, good news. You can look at it here.
It's going to be what you go to for most websites, right? But instead of having to go through the traditional avenue of absorbing the data, it's just pictures, man. You can do it while you're like sitting on the bus. And instead of like reading half of an article, getting bored and moving on to the next one, you just look at a picture, go to the next picture.
Keep it simple.
An infographic with all the information you need. So it's going to be really, really awesome. It's in progress right now. You can see a little bit of it if you go to the site. If you hit up Jeff on Twitter, he'll share whatever he has with you that he's comfortable sharing. I'm not going to speak for him on that front, though.
If you need something, come find me. I'm happy to help you out. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, and again, he's on Twitter at NFL_DiMatteo. I'm at Ronnie A. Evans, and this is the Chop Shop. So week 1's in 48 hours. We've got a lot of games. I'm most excited about the game that's on Monday night, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Looking at just like matchups, game in general, what's happened over the offseason recently. Any specific thoughts or things that have stood out besides Damian Pierce over the last 4 weeks?
I mean, I don't want to say this out loud, and I know I shouldn't. I'm going to anyway, and I hope it doesn't turn into a hex. But where are all the injuries?
I know.
Nobody's gotten hurt. And I know that I'm the jerk because I'm mentioning it, and now the glass is going to break somewhere and all hell's going to break loose. But usually by this time, there have been roster-altering injuries. Last year at this time, we had already lost, guys like Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins, and we had all these guys go down.
Well, the Ravens lost their whole team at this point.
Yeah, the whole Ravens backfield was already injured by week 1, so I think we were already down to like Lat Murray and Tyson Williams or something. But no, I don't know where the injuries are at, and it makes me really nervous for weeks 1 through 3. And I'm kind of just preparing myself for a bloodbath because we always have the early season injury rush. And just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not coming.
Well, here's the thing. You're jinxing it.
I'm scared.
Stop talking about the injuries, but I have good news. Tomorrow night at 9:00 Eastern, the next man up is returning to Gridiron Ratings. Going to be running through everything you need about players to replace. I don't know. They got stuff to talk about, but there hasn't been a lot of injuries. I'm just excited to see him back in the rhythm, back with us as we get back into our rhythm and the season kicks off here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then also, side note, after this, in 30 minutes, 36 minutes, we're going to be live again for Getting Defensive.
We're going to hit the button the first time this time.
Right. Yeah, well, I blame StreamYard. All right. I blame
We're not going to blame StreamYard because they are a lovely platform to work with, and they've done a fantastic job helping us with everything that we do. Thank you, StreamYard.
They owe us a year of premium.
Don't shut down our...
All right. StreamYard's great, though. Let's look at talking at these matchups in general. The biggest game of the week is probably Bills-Rams, and luckily that's on Thursday. What's standing out to you? We're going to talk offense here. We'll dive into defense on the next show here in about 30 minutes again. But Bills-Rams, what do you want to talk about here? What's been sticking out as you've been running through all the data?
All right, look, so everyone is already going to tell you. You've probably heard it, read it on Twitter, seen it everywhere, okay? Make sure you've got your position players in your positions. Don't start guys in the flex on a Thursday night.
Yes.
Number one.
Yes. You know that so many people are still going to make that mistake.
Oh, 100%. There's going to be all kinds of people, and they're going to be pissed about it. Second thing, and this is
I
the
think
thing.
you gotta make sure you go ahead.
I was going to say, second thing is, you were really getting ahead of me. I'm like, okay, shit, he's really got something here. The second thing here is that if you're playing DFS, which you probably are, getting into that showdown slate because we're all degenerates and we can't help ourselves on opening night. Allen Robinson. I'm going to plant the flag. Everyone's going to be on Cooper Kupp. Everyone's going to be on a quarterback or whatever. I'm telling you, it's Allen Robinson. I'm putting him in the captain slot. I'm doing it. Let's go. Yeah. No.
Hello?
Are you there?
I said, how come?
Oh, sorry. You're chopping up a little bit on me.
That's all right. It's probably the internet here. How come?
Well, here's where we're at. There's no Tre'Davious White. So the Bills' alpha corner off the board. You've got to double now Cooper Kupp, maybe triple him because there's no way to throw a blanket over or I don't think they can kidnap him pregame. Like I don't think any of that's in the cards.
Don't get any ideas.
Yeah. I'm like, this whole thing feels like an episode of that movie Celtic Pride, but they're going to steal, Cooper Kupp instead. Showing my age a little bit here. So the thing is if they've got to divert that much attention over to Cooper Kupp and you have a veteran quarterback in Stafford, he can find his way around the field. Allen Robinson, to me, is a better player at this juncture than Odell Beckham was last year when he joined the Rams, and he joined late, obviously. But he's had a whole offseason to get used to the offense. He's been there from the jump. He and Stafford seem to have great chemistry. It looks like a situation where you're not going to be able to ignore him. And this could be that one game slot where it's like, hey, everyone's focused on Cooper Kupp. And then here's number 2, Allen Robinson's going to show up. And, 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown is going to make you feel pretty good in your captain slot.
I think that's pretty accurate. I also am looking at just in general. I don't think I'm playing either of these defenses, of course, right? You got two projected to be fantastic offenses. So for DFS, avoid that. But I don't want to throw any like solid, hardcore rock slam dunk advice out there, but yeah, I might play one of the kickers in this game. I mean, at DFS, they're so cheap, and these guys are going to be more expensive than typical. But
Sure.
I don't know. There's going to be points on the board. I'm excited for this game. James Cook, I'll send a random over under 65 total yards.
I'm taking the under.
Fair enough.
I mean, and right. I know I'm in the minority on that, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But that's where I'm at.
No, I'm with you on it. I'm cool on James Cook. But let's move on. What about pick a game? Give me a game that you're really interested in.
Ooh. This is the homer pick, but give me the 49ers and the Bears. It's that right. Game, the Trey Lance coming out party, if you want to call it that. It's his first actual start as the guy. And, that game, you're talking about a 28-point implied total for the 49ers. If they're going to score 4 touchdowns, according to Vegas, Trey Lance could be really useful. And so this is going to be a litmus test. If he can't do it week 1 against the Bears, I think we should all have a little bit of pause. And that scares the daylights out of me, not only as a 49er fan, but it scares the daylights out of me as a guy who has him on 6 or 7 lineups, 6 or 7 teams right now, starting quarterback. But I mean, I have some faith. I like Trey Lance. I think he's a good player. The 49ers game is going to be really interesting. I want to see what Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney bring to the party. There's a lot happening on both sides of this game that's really interesting.
If you're playing value at quarterback at DFS, are you going to throw down anything on either of these quarterbacks?
Oh, I'll stack, Trey Lance up with, you're probably going to see him get stacked up with Debo. I mean, Debo does Debo things.
Yeah, I'm doing the opposite. I want to stack Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields.
Oh,
and I know that everyone's like, the Bears offensive line, Nick Bosa. Yeah, he's going to get sacked. It's not going to be amazing, but for the cost of Justin Fields and just in general, his upside, he could have a serviceable week. But if he throws 2 touchdowns, that's great. One of them is going to be to Darnell Mooney. I can guarantee you that. So,
yeah, I think what I'm doing is I'm going to play Lance and Ayuk or Lance and Kittle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Mooney from the other side. It's my good buddy Jordan Vanek. He always says, do the stack and a run it back. And so it's you get the stack on the one side of the game, and then the other side's going to have to score points to keep up. So hey, you go out, you get Lance, you get Ayuk, you get Kittle, pick one of those guys, and then you just run it back with Mooney, and you've got 4 really inexpensive pieces that are going to be able to come out and help your lineup pretty quickly.
So the over-under for this game is 41.5. Mm-hmm. I'm going to double that. One more little Ronnie over-under for you. Justin Fields, 80 rushing yards.
Under.
Fair enough. I think the Niners defense is going to be better than people are expecting this year.
It's not so much that. It's that I just didn't see the aggression for him to run the ball last year. He was just as happy to throw it away. He was just as happy to kind of, scamper out of danger and get out of bounds and get down. He doesn't have that same. When you watch Lamar Jackson, it's different, right? He's that guy where he's going to fight tooth, nail, and claw for every single yard. And I just don't know if I see the same thing from Justin Fields. It's not a knock on him. Just don't have enough games in yet to know. And I got him at the under there.
Speaking of Lamar, at 1 o'clock on Sunday, one of those 5. That was probably loud.
Drop my really loud.
So you got the Ravens
organization here,
right? Okay. I'm not expecting the Jets to pull an upset here, and I don't think it doesn't look like Vegas is either. But I am curious what you think is going to happen with Elijah Moore, and we'll cover IDP. There's a few Ravens I'm interested in later, but what are you doing with any of the Jets besides Elijah Moore?
Sorry, if you're listening and not watching, I'm just shaking my head. It's a hard pass. It's one of those things. So, big Iowa State guy. I'm actually wearing my Beat Iowa T-shirt right now for Iowa week for the Cyclones. It's a college shirt, still fits. There you go. There you go. Not as fat as I thought. That's a good Batman shirt. I like it. Oh my God, you've got the muscles on it too. Weirdo.
Oh heck yeah, man! I wore this to the premiere.
uh, anyway, so I'm obviously an Iowa State guy. Brees Hall, I like him a lot as a player. I think he's very talented. I'm really concerned that the workload isn't going to be as strong as the industry thinks. And this is going to be more of a split than anybody wants to admit. And we've been saying that since April, right? Like we go back.
We have, and I've seen people start to warm up to that over the last 4 weeks. I'm not going to sit here and say we told you so or anything. It's still got to happen.
No, it's got to happen. But I mean, you never know what's going to happen with injuries and everything else. But here's the thing: Week 1, that Ravens front seven, that looks dirty. Yeah. And you don't know what's going on with the Jets O line right now. Like they replaced Mekhi Becton with Dwayne Brown or something. Is that who they went and got?
I don't even know. I don't care.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not really in on the Jets offense outside of Elijah Moore.
Sure.
If he's playing, especially across the middle, I really love where he's at, because if they get him matched up on Kyle Hamilton, who I love as an IDP prospect, Moore is the more useful.
Oh, he would probably post in Week 1.
Yeah. And so I would love Elijah Moore. I've got him on a bunch of rosters. I think he's a great ad. He was going way later than he should in a lot of drafts. This is a guy that, from a profile standpoint, and I'm not saying he's going to put up these numbers, but he has a similar profile to a guy like Antonio Brown, especially early in his career, where he's kind of shifty, a little more slender. He's quicker than fast, but he's still got a little bit of long speed. Great catch radius, does good things after the catch. That's Elijah Moore. He's already doing that. He's going to be a focal point in the offense. So give me all the Elijah Moore in that game.
All right. Well, here's an interesting note. So Baltimore, if you're looking at PFF's rates for gap blocking plays last year, they did that on 80% of their runs. It's the most in the NFL. The Jets have a putrid defense when it comes to that, playing that sort of run. They try to get inside. They have a super penetration minded. I'm pulling a word off of an article here, but they blitz a lot. And then they leave themselves wide open in the second level of the defense. And I'm looking at the Ravens and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's cool, but I don't really know that I want to pay attention to any of their running backs this week. Even Mike Davis, who was kind of a sneaky play, it seemed like a month and a half ago. Is there anyone on the Ravens that you're trying to throw into DFS right now besides, obviously, if you can, Mark Andrews are probably cute, but like Duvernay, Kenyon Drake, is he worth anything?
Oh, this is another one of those games where it's like you want badly to take somebody, but it's hard. It's really hard to get behind it. So I'm going to go with probably not. And Mark Andrews, truthfully, is cost prohibitive. Like, is he a stud to go get? Sure. Yeah, he's going to get his. But, maybe Bateman, because he's cheap enough. Like Bateman's what, 5,400 or something on DraftKings. Like maybe he's worth grabbing.
Yeah, he's the type of play that I like. But honestly, I'd rather have some other guys in Bateman's price range.
Yeah, there's a lot of other guys. Michael Pittman is a similar price, and he's going to get a bazillion targets. Like that's a guy I'd much rather have.
Right. Well, we think that game's going to be pretty boring anyway. Let's move on to no disrespect to the Jets too. Y'all aren't there yet though. Things are looking up though.
I love Robert Saleh, so
yeah. They're building a good team there.
Sure.
Another game that you're super interested in. I know that I've got my eye on another AFC East game, but we just talked about the Bills. So give me one.
And the Jets. We've already got 2 AFC East teams. I mean, it was this. What kind of show is this? Just the AFC East show?
I don't know. I didn't mean to. You want to switch all the way over to the NFC, down to my hometown, and talk about the Saints and the Falcons, which is typically a lot of tension among the two fan bases because they don't like each other. But the games haven't been all that predictable, or I should say unpredictable recently. Falcons are probably going to be trash this year. Saints are going to be better than people think, I think.
Mm-hmm. Give me all the Alvin Kamara in that game.
Oh, yeah.
And
wait, who's the Falcons linebacker again? Are they alive still? Well, I saw that they put 5 guys on IR.
Deion Jones is hurt. He's on the IR again. You've got Rashaan Evans is fine. I think he's okay. But they lost Michael Walker, right? I mean, they lost Michael Walker. And then they've got the rookie Troy Anderson, right? That's...
Mm-hmm. I got to credit where credit due. I was talking to it was one of the guys. Well, there's a couple guys on getting defensive earlier this offseason, but they're huge on Troy Anderson. And I was like, there's like 7 linebackers in front of him. Well, lo and behold, we'll talk about that more in getting defensive. But
He's not ready, but yeah, we'll bring it up later.
Kamara is, I love that, obviously. But what about the backups? I don't think that Kamara is going to go out there and get 35 touches in this game. So any interest in Mark Ingram?
No. I mean, look, their guys are going to come in, they're going to spell him. But here's the thing. When a team tells you who they are, you got to believe them. What did they do this year? They went out, they drafted Olave early in the first. They went out, they brought in Jarvis Landry still. You got Jameis Winston, who they kept in, and Winston's not a runner, he's a thrower, right? Like, this isn't a guy that's going to drop back and want to hand it off a whole bunch. They didn't really do anything at tight end, but the O-line is still intact. They didn't add another back to go with Kamara. And the dried-up husk of Mark Ingram is not a threat to those touches, not like he was 4 years ago. I mean, 4 years ago, this was a big split.
Right.
Kamara's probably in for as much work as he's ever had this year. But those
I would agree with that. I don't mean to cut you off, but we got 20 more minutes.
21 minutes.
And I will just say this. It looks like Drake London and Michael Thomas are going to play unless something has changed in the last few hours. And if they do, that's neat. I'd be happy playing them in DFS if, you can mix and match both those guys into a lineup and probably be okay. Just talking about Mark Andrews. Give me the before I break down my whole house over there. I got a new setup over here. I'm getting used to it. It's a new season. Welcome to 2022. How y'all doing? Give me just, if you're looking at Olave, Jarvis Landry, and let's just call it Olamide Zacchaeus. Which guy are you throwing in as like a fill in your roster last guy because you can't afford anyone else in DFS?
Landry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Landry. Like, Landry's a veteran guy who knows how to get open. And there's a very real chance that even though Michael Thomas is back, he's not the Michael Thomas we've known.
Sure.
And so, Landry running around the middle of the field, Olave and Thomas out on the perimeter, that could be a recipe for success for the Saints. And then you still have Kamara kind of working that short intermediate space also. So give me Landry.
All right. Let's move on to another huge game. Should at least be a fun game for fantasy. Huge. The Dallas Cowboys. Yeehaw. Versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Is that the sound a Buccaneer makes? I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Recently. You know what it was rated. Anyway,
I don't think so. Peter.
Mike Evans, how's he looking? I feel like whenever he's playing right now, smash. But what are your thoughts overall on this game?
When it comes to the Bucs, I think they're vulnerable. I mean, that's my initial thought. Godwin's still banged up. We don't know when we're going to see him. Allegedly, he's practicing, making progress, all this kind of junk. I really didn't figure on him being back till at least Halloween. So if he's back before Halloween, I think that's a big win. And they're going to need him because Russell Gage is banged up. You've got Mike Evans is banged up. Like, Julio's the most healthy guy they have. And he actually just got his AARP card in the mail. And so you're just sitting here like, who's Tom Brady going to throw it to? And it's like, Cam Brate suddenly looks really entertaining. Lenny Fournette looks a little entertaining. Rashad White could be really useful. But even with those running backs, you've got a center is down for the year. You lost Jensen. He's a stud. Gone. Both the guards are gone. You lost another one of the guards that stepped in as a backup. One of the centers has been already nicked up. Like, even worse has been off the field hurt. Like, what the heck? Like, you can't keep any of those guys healthy. And I wouldn't say that you're better on defense. You lost Jordan Whitehead. JPP is gone. Like,
all right, I don't want to know about the defense.
Dude, I know. We'll talk to defense on the next show.
We had to get on defensive, but let me just paraphrase what you just said.
They're dead. They're all hurt. Yeah.
And then Julio, not hurt yet, but probably soon. So, I could see a Cameron Brate could be interesting, but I don't know, man. I mean, that could be like a genius play, but I wouldn't put much money on it.
I'm out.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, so Jalen Tolbert is the interesting out of this whole thing. We kind of know who CeeDee Lamb is. We know kind of what Dak is if he's playing, and we all kind of know the hype with Tony Pollard. Jalen Tolbert, though, is he even going to play? And if he does, how many snaps is he going to get? And more importantly, is he worth rostering or throwing in as a flex this week?
I think what's going to be really frustrating is when you're watching this Cowboys game, you're going to see a little bit of Jalen Tolbert, but not enough. And you're going to see more Simi Fehoko than I think we're going to be comfortable with. and that's going to be a situation. And another guy to keep an eye out for is they've got this like 5'4" punt returner that they picked up from like the USFL or whatever, one of the leagues that's playing minor league ball here. And but the kid apparently is just lightning in a bottle. And I'm trying to remember his name, and it's escaping me at the moment.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Pull it up in a second.
But yeah, he
was like the MVP in the USFL.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And, fact is, you're going to have CeeDee Lamb. You're going to have a revolving door on the other side. And then it's going to be Schultz. It'll be Pollard. It'll be Zeke. They're going to be doing their best to get the ball.
Gallup's out this week.
Yeah, Gallup's not playing for probably 4 weeks. I wouldn't expect to see him.
His Gallup's draft capital, just a side note, like I looked at his ADP. His ADP is somewhat reasonable. He's going lower than I would want. I would love him at his ADP right now, but I did a few drafts with people I like really respect in this industry over the last 2 weeks. And in multiple drafts, he was falling to the 15th round, the 17th round, like back of your roster throw in. And it's just,
yeah.
Am I wrong to think that Michael Gallup has potential to be a wide receiver 3 this year?
I mean, when you think about it on a per game basis, say he misses 4 games, he ends up being a flex for you the rest of the year.
Yeah, but at that price, you throw him in there.
He's free. Yeah, you take him. You got to draft Gallup there. You got to get him. Get him on your roster. He's free. I've actually picked him up in a couple leagues where I got him at the very end of the draft where I was like, well, Jesus, if no one else is going to do it, I guess I'll take him.
Yeah, well, he's super good. He's super talented. Everyone's all hot and bothered about all these other teams and their wide receiver cores. And I'm like, y'all forget CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup is really good. And Jalen Tolbert looks like he's going to be something as well. Like Dallas is loaded.
It's going to be really funny when Dallas comes out and runs the ball like a bazillion times against Tampa Bay. Just because Tampa Bay, outside of Devin White, and Levante David, like they can't really stop the run a whole lot. Not having a Ndamukong Suh hurts. I get it. They brought in a Michael Pierce, I guess, or not Michael Pierce, Akeem Hicks.
All right, we got 15 minutes left. No talking about defensive players, Jeffrey.
I know. I'm sorry. I get so excited.
We're getting in the rhythm, everyone. We got getting defensive here in a second.
I've got enough caffeine in me to kill a rhinoceros, Ronnie. Okay? I'm ready to go.
Eagles, Lions, not Rhinos. These 2 animal-themed teams are playing on Sunday. And, everyone's going to be all excited about Jalen Hurts, and he's not a secret anymore for fantasy. Sure. And I'm excited about A.J. Brown. I think he's being underdrafted in a lot of ways this year. He's got as much potential as anyone to finish top 4 at the position. And that said, Devonta Smith, big value. And on the other side of the ball, Amon-Ra seems like a slam dunk if things work out like they did
big value.
I will be quiet though. Jeffrey, who are your biggest values? One from the Eagles and one from the Lions.
I mean, I think you already hit him on the head. Give me Amon-Ra on the on the Lions side, and in week 1, I expect him to eat because he's running inside, and really the Eagles can only cover at the perimeter. They're just not any good covering over the middle. So, give me Amon-Ra week 1. I kind of like Miles Sanders, and I know that I'm on an island here, I think, with this guy. Everyone's kind of fed up with him, but we were all fed up with Joe Mixon this time last year.
That's the thing.
Yeah, well, we were all fed up with Joe Mixon last year for the same reason, and we were putting in way more draft capital into Joe Mixon than we were Miles Sanders. So Miles Sanders is going as like, RB 35, 36. Like he's going late now. Like
he's a value. 100%.
Yeah, if you're telling me I can put him on team's number 1 running back who gets the bulk of the carries when healthy, I can have him on my roster in the 7th or 8th round. That's every time. Why not?
Slam dunk. Well, I don't even need to look at the money line on this for DFS at least, but I'm slamming Devonta Smith this week. And, I like the Miles Sanders play. I think there's a few other running backs I could lean towards, but I enjoy it. I enjoy that idea as well. I think it's a good move. Let's do 2 more. We don't need to cover all these games. There's a few that look like the Panthers, Browns. Play CMC. Big, groundbreaking insight right there.
I want Baker in that game because Baker revenge narrative. If there's one guy that I want to play revenge narrative, it's Baker against the Browns because he wants to come out there and throw 7 touchdowns and for 800 yards and just ram it down their throat, especially with no Deshaun Watson on the other side.
Yeah, I could see that. Looking at Monday night, though, you knew I was going to bring this game up. I just got to throw it out there. Seahawks and the Broncos. If you look, behind me, I got Seahawks stuff over here. I got DK Metcalf jersey right
Yeah,
here.
aren't you a former fan? Like, didn't you give up on them?
You know,
Did
I
you punt?
wasn't
You
going
changed
to. I was
teams?
going to root for both of them equally, but Seahawks fans have been such just a like cockamamie pile of just loathsome, just whininess this whole offseason about Russell Wilson that I'm out. I hope the Broncos obliterate them.
It's fair. As I keep just taking pulls off my giant jug of water here.
No, you're good. But I will say this. So there we go. I know I froze up there for a second. So Russell Wilson this year, huge value at quarterback. I'm just throwing it out there. We've talked about this multiple times on the Chop Shop. I don't think he's going to finish number one. Shout out to Josh Larky. I love you. You put out great stuff on Twitter. I saw that hot take a week or two ago. I don't know about that this year. Maybe next year. But he's going to be great. And I think he's going to throw. I'm going to put this out there. Don't put your money on this. I'm going to see if I can hit this Ronnie Evans, the Batman banger of the week.
Flag plant. Now. We really need to drop for that, for the flag plant.
300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
304 week one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable, especially how bad, that Seahawks team is. But the question is, like, what happens with Javonte? Javonte and Mel Gordon, they could easily run through the middle of that defense. I mean, outside of Jordan Brooks and Cody Barton, what do they have?
Javonte, here's the deal with Javonte, and I've been keeping up with a lot of these Broncos beat reporters all offseason. Everyone's like, it's not really going to be an 80-20 split. Well, yeah, because it's 2022. That doesn't happen anymore. Like,
yeah. Well, it was never.
So Javonte Williams, if he gets 5 to 8% more of the workload this year, he's a running back 1 in fantasy. It's all you need to know.
Top 6 guy for me.
If he goes out there and he splits workload like evenly, 50-50 with Melvin Gordon this week, don't worry. You're looking at a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. They are not going to go out there and feed their running back to the point of injury if they can avoid it. And this is not a game where they're going to need to pound Javonte. Melvin Gordon's going to get more touches than people want him to this week. The fantasy industry is going to freak out about it. I'm going to roll my eyes the entire time.
Yep. There's, I'm looking for a couple big plays from him, though. I think he'll still be viable.
Oh, he's going to look great.
Yeah. At the end of the year, here's what's going to happen with Javonte. When the year is finished, Javonte's going to have about 100 more touches than Melvin Gordon.
See that.
So I'm not worried about the percentage. Everyone's like, 60, 40, 70. No, it's about total touch count. And as far as I'm concerned right now, what they want to do is they want to make sure Javonte, one of their best playmakers, has the ball in his hands. It's going to be a situation where they give it to him. He's going to get about 100 more times over the course of the year. That's kind of where I would plant the flag.
Don't at me on Twitter when Melvin Gordon is lined up for multiple third downs this game. I don't care.
Or on the goal
line. On. Well, let's not move on. I didn't want to just mention that. But the other thing, too, sneaky play. I just like home run, DFS play, fill up the back end of your DFS lineup, throw in KJ Hamler. Super. Like, remember how excited people were about Tim Patrick as a value this year?
I like Tim Patrick. Yeah, now he's gone again. Well, we talked about it. The Bronco receivers always get hurt, right?
Yeah. Russell Wilson will be throwing multiple deep shots this game. Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy both have speed, but KJ Hamler is the fastest guy on the team, and it's apparently looked that way again despite his injuries. And he's been playing great this offseason. So he's a sneaky play. I'm not saying put all your money on KJ, but throw him in on the back of your DFS lineups. I'll do it once or twice.
Yeah, if you're doing 150 lineups in the Millie Maker, make sure one's got a, well, actually, I guess they're not on the main slate, but if you're playing Showdown, throw him in the captain slot. If you're running a few lineups, dude, KJ Hamler in the captain slot, it could be complete trash, but if he goes out and gets you 3 for 99 and a touchdown, guess what? You're feeling real good in that captain slot because you've got a lot of points nobody else does. But we got 3 minutes, and we got to get out of here.
Yeah, let's close out. I'm going to hit one player from each game that I'm interested in watching this year just for the sake of learning about how the season's going to progress, and I think these games will be telling. Giants, Titans, my player is Saquon Barkley. I want to see how he's used, see what it looks like. Who's the guy for you?
I'll be honest. I wish I would have had a little more heads up on that pre-show.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's the Chop Shop.
I mean, I already kind of alluded to it earlier, but Trey Lance, I think there's a lot riding on his success, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo staying in town. I mean, if the Niners are treading water mid-season, it won't be out of the realm of possibility that he gets supplanted by Jimmy for the rest of the year. And they let him continue to marinate. But
all right, Trey Lance. Let's look at Chargers Raiders. That game, I wish we had more time. It's going to be a great game. Everyone should watch it. 4:25 on Sunday.
Oh wait, was I supposed to pick someone from the Giants game?
Yeah, it's all right. We're moving on. We don't have time. So
Sorry, I'm a dummy. I didn't know what we were doing. You didn't
the
explain
Raiders
the game
Chargers.
I got no.
No, you're good. The guy for me that I'm paying the most attention to is actually Darren Waller. I want to see how he's used in light of Devontae, and it's going to really he could be a guy that is burning people's fantasy teams this year if it works out the wrong way. I don't think it will, but I'm going to have my eye on it.
Yeah, I think he might be getting a little overdrafted, but I like him all the same. Give me Josh Palmer from the Chargers.
I love that, baby. I love it.
You got a little Josh Palmer swag going on back
there?
Go
Vols, baby.
Oh, geez. Goodness gracious. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Knock down a book.
So, yeah, no, I like Palmer. Here's the thing, man. You've got Keenan Allen. You've got Austin Eckler. You've got Mike Williams. A lot of people are really hot on Williams. I think everyone forgot that he had a really big, first 5 weeks, and then he totally petered out. He evaporated for the bulk of the remainder of the year. Is that in play again? Are we going to see that again? Is Palmer going to be is it going to be Williams and Palmer constantly fighting over
it's going to be Palmer
touches?
When Keenan or Mike misses time. That's a slam dunk for sure. They've said as much.
Yeah.
I don't know about Palmer with the two of them active, but I'm with you. I think he could be sneaky.
It could be Allen and Palmer 1 week. It could be Allen and Williams another week. It could be Williams and Eckler. Yeah. They've got enough weapons, and Herbert knows how to spread it around. I don't know, but I want to see Palmer. I want to see how he really plays in this offense. How frequently is he on the field? How much is he targeted? Yada yada yada.
All right, I love that. I'll tell you what. So I'll be around tomorrow. I might hop on Twitter and do a little Twitter space unannounced. So follow me. It's at Ronnie A. Evans. We could talk a little bit more if you hop in about just week one.
You just announced it, right? So it's not technically unannounced if you.
Well, we only have one viewer right now, so I see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's because we get the bulk of our
tomorrow
views
on Twitter.
Yeah, we get the bulk of our views later, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a new day as well.
Hi, viewer. Oh wait, we have a comment too. Dude, do we? Hey, it's Hunter. Hey, Hunter.
What up, dude?
Here, we'll put his message up here. Hi.
Well, all right. Hi, and Jeff. Anything else from you?
No, man. We gotta go. We're gonna be on the next show, getting defensive together. So we're just gonna kind of continue the anarchy, but now we're gonna flip the defense with a smattering of offense, also.
Yeah, we'll do that on time and live. So we'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
See ya.
They have no idea where we are, who we are, where we're coming from, or who we are, where we're coming from, or who we are, where we're coming from, or who we are, where we're coming from. And this is the best of the best. Wow. That is football.